What's good, everybody? My name is Sky and welcome back to the channel. This is my lovely wife Lori. You also know her as Rain on our Twitch channel, and today we are starting our relationship series, and let's just get right into it. Okay?
Yeah, so I guess the title for today's video is going to be called How to Love, but I guess we don't really have all the answers because we can't tell you guys exactly step by step. There is no one key thing to love. I mean, there's different ways to love, but this is what worked for us and we want to share it with you guys. This is for anyone, not just people who are married, but also people who want to improve their relationships, whether it be with your mom, with your dad, with your cousins, I don't know, with your friends, best friends. This is just how to be, a better listener, if anything. How to hold space for someone, how to love someone deeper. Yeah, I can't wait to share with you guys. We have 5 things that we want to say, and we have questions as well. Point number 1 is expectation versus reality of love. As a young couple, we struggled a lot, and we didn't know where to get help or who to talk to because no one really teaches you these things. I mean, at least for me, when I was growing up, everything that happened, like with my parents, happened behind closed doors, and everything else I knew about love was just, I learned through teleseries, I learned through Disney movies.
Teleserie is Filipino dramas, if you don't understand that.
Yeah, like watching soap operas.
Yeah.
And love was kind of like this
Expectation versus reality.
Yeah.
And as a young kid, you kind of expect it to look like all these fairy tales where like Prince Charming comes saves the princess, and then now they're gonna get married and there you go, happily ever after. But there's a lot of like in between moments within the relationship that we don't understand, and especially since now social media kind of is like the updated version of like what expectations is now. It's not Disney movies, it's more so like, oh wow, this couple's going here, this couple just gave each other this, they just achieved this together, but you don't understand like the gray areas in between those moments that make the relationship, not just those posts.
Yeah.
Moving on to the next point.
Point number 2. When you have two different people who grew up 2 different ways living in one household, you're bound to argue, you're bound to disagree on some things.
And that's truly where like love starts to grow too, because at the end of it, you just want to be understood by that person that you love, and you just want to be loved by that person as well.
Yeah.
So like it's not a bad thing that you argue, but at the same time, like you shouldn't be afraid of disagreements, because if there's no disagreements, you guys are never gonna learn about each other or about yourself, because you never know your flaws. You truly don't. And for somebody else to bring it up to you, it means that they love you more than you understand.
I don't think you could ever be ready for a relationship or a marriage. There's going to be so many things that come up that you didn't even know about yourself during a marriage or doing a serious relationship.
And this doesn't really have to apply to just boyfriend and girlfriend or husband and wife. This could even be like towards like a friend and a best friend, because I mean there's 2 different individuals still. You might not be attracted to them, but there might be disagreements, and that's okay to have disagreements because you just really want them to understand and learn what your perspective is.
Yeah. Like everyone hashtags relationship goals or like hashtag couple goals, but at the same time it's like, God, if you guys only knew half the things that we went through. And people always ask us like, do you guys even argue? I can't imagine you guys like fighting, but we actually argue a lot. And there are days where we felt like you're just trying so hard, but you're not really understanding each other, and it almost gets to the point where you guys are almost talking two different languages, and that's the most frustrating thing. Our next point is how to hold space for somebody and how to actively listen.
That's a nice one. And it strays away from trying to be a fixer for somebody. Like when somebody is trying to talk to you about their problems or what they want you to understand, they're not there for you to fix them. They're not, unless they're like requesting like feedback from you. But other than that, like giving them that sacred space to talk and have you actively listen really shows that you care, more so trying to like get rid of the problem.
Yeah. Holding space, if you don't know what that means, it's to really be there for somebody without trying to change their situation and trying to input your own life into them. Because this has happened so many times where, you know, other people are going through things, right? And I'm guilty for it too. We're all guilty of it. When a friend is going to you and they're spilling out their problems, their emotions, and then you're like, oh, I know when I went through this is what I did, and this is what worked for me. And all of a sudden it doesn't become about your friend anymore, and it becomes about you, right? And you know, we don't want to do that, because plenty of times where, you know, there are times where we argued and I'm telling him all these things, and sometimes I'm just like, honey, I just want you to listen to me, please, like just listen. I just need someone to listen. And sometimes it helps too if you ask, you know, if you're the person that they're going to. Thank you for sharing what you just told me. I hear you and I acknowledge everything that you're going through. How do you want me to support you? Do you want me to listen? Do you want me to share my thoughts? Do you know, whatever it is, whatever you want to do, how can I support you?
Another example of that is like when your homie comes to you and like talks to you about like a friend passing, you don't go like, yeah, I had a friend pass too, and like this is how I feel and I truly understand you. No, you don't understand that person, because it's very subjective. You didn't have that relationship with that certain friend that passed away, so you can't really imply your life on top of theirs. Now it's meshed up. Now who are we talking about now? You know, who's the focal point of this situation?
Yeah, you can't put your pain and your story onto someone else's and expect them to feel lighter because of it. They'll shut down even more because they don't feel validated and they don't feel like they're being heard, right? Next point, which is loving deeper and really wanting to be understood. All of us love differently, right? There's different ways we receive love, and this is in our upbringing. There's different love languages. If you don't know what love language are, just look them up, because it's really good to know. But my love language is acts of service and quality time. Okay, so I like to give love by doing acts of service, and I like to receive love by quality time. And you?
And for me, like, I'm all good if I could get some word of affirmation, like, I love you, okay, chill, I'm good for the rest of the month, you know. But on top of that, like, I do love quality time, and learning how to understand what your partner or what your friend's love language is really important, because sometimes like they don't receive the same love that you like to receive, and if that's being mashed up and you're loving a person the way you want it to be loved, then it's not going to work, because you're just working against your relationship, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay.
It's like, let me give you guys an example. I'm doing all these, sometimes I feel like I'm doing all these things for Sky, right? I'm like cleaning, I'm like cooking him dinner, and I'm doing all these things, and those things are great. Those things are great to do. But sometimes it's as simple as like, you know, I just need you to tell me I love you, and I just need reassurance from you with this, and it's actually a lot simpler than what I thought it would be. And I'm over here like stressing myself out because I feel like I have to do all these things for him or buy him so many things, like during Valentine's Day or doing birthdays or anniversaries. I stress out so much on what to give him, but it's like sometimes it's as simple as saying I love you or writing a really thoughtful letter, and it's about intention, right? It's really about the intention of what you're doing.
And you don't really truly understand that if you don't actively listen and understand who and why your partner acts a certain way, and that goes from their upbringing through your relationship dynamic. Like, it's very, very subjective. Please don't think because it works for us or what works for us is going to work for you, because honestly sometimes it doesn't even work for us. It's just gonna be straight. It changes. It changes. Very situational and subjective to the time.
Going to the root, we want to thank SHETTY for this, because we learned a lot about love and relationships through him. We started watching his podcast every week, and one of the things that we wanted to share with you guys, because we thought this point really stood out, was going to the root of the problem. Because a lot of people, when they solve something, they just solve the symptom. For example, when people have a headache, right, they pop pills, right, and they don't even understand that it's not just popping pills. You need to understand, what you're eating, how you're sleeping is the reason why you're having a headache, right? Go to the root of the problem instead of curing the symptom.
And like an example of that is like, if your partner would be like, I'm insecure because of this, and this. It's not just that. It's like, what is it under that too? You're insecure because probably something with your upbringing still, with like your parents making you feel like you're not good enough, and that makes you insecure, and then that surfaces up to your relationship, and then now it's onto your guys' shoulders.
It's like say you guys are fighting because your man's is texting another girl, right? And then you're like, who are you texting? Just block that girl. No, like, you need to understand, you need to ask yourself, like, why do you feel insecure? Why do I feel jealous right now? And is it because of what I went through when I was younger? Or what is the root of you feeling jealous? And how could you talk and communicate to work it out with the person?
Honestly, but if your girl thinks that you're fucking up and texting another girl, don't even do that. Don't even text that girl, bro. Just text your bros.
Just text your bros. Yeah.
Text me.
Just kidding. Okay, so the next three things are not points, because like I said in the beginning of the video, there's no one thing that's gonna make all relationships work. We want to give you guys questions to ask yourself and to share it with your partner. If you guys are just listening to this video right now, I recommend writing it somewhere, or like really taking the time to answer these questions, because we're here to learn. We're here to learn, and change requires action, and it requires thoughtful action. So these questions make you think about you, because having a good relationship with your partner and others require you to understand a good relationship with yourself. Okay, so the first question is, how much do you really listen? How much do you cut other people off during a conversation? How much do you pay attention to people's pain and people's stories? Yeah? When you're actively listening, there's so many things. Half of listening is listening to the things that are not being said. It's how a person is speaking, it's their tone, it's their body language, right? And a lot of arguments start with tone. There's so many times where an argument is blown up just because of the way a person is speaking or the way a person is moving, right? Their body language. Pay attention to those things. Moving on to our next question.
What is your love language? Study your love language and pain so you and your partner could better communicate on how to love each other. We touched upon this when we gave examples of with our love languages. So like I really do suggest you probably even like search it up on Google. They probably have like some little quiz that you could take and it'll literally tell you like what your love language is, one or two of them. And then communicating that with your partner will really help benefit your dynamic because now you understand like what your partner is waiting for, you know, and what your partner could do for you. But that only works if you're willing to communicate and put yourself out there for each other, you know?
A lot of the reasons why we struggle because we don't have structure. We need verbal communication. We need words to make sense out of things. Otherwise, we're just going to be really frustrated and we're not going to understand why we are. We're just mad. Learning each other's love language is so important. It's so important because it's going to help your communication so much.
Our question here is, how do you love with your soul? How do you love unconditionally? How do you get in touch with your soul? Because if you can't forgive yourself for the unforgiven, then how do you expect to do that for someone else? If you're not able to understand your own pain and heal from your own pain, you will not be able to unconditionally love somebody else that is going through pain, because how can a broken person help another broken person, if that makes sense, you know?
Yeah. This is such a hard question to answer because it's not about religion. Really connecting to a deeper part of you, right? Because if you understand a part of you that understands and embraces pain and welcomes trauma and rewrites that story into a beautiful thing, then you can do the same with your partner. And grow together. Loving with your soul is trusting beyond boundaries. It's trusting beyond what you could trust, right? And it's forgiving the person over and over and over and over and over, and it's forgiving yourself too. It's not counting. It's constant growth. It's constantly striving to become better for yourself so that you could be better for your partner as well. Whatever that means for you, right? For us, it meant reading together. We started going to church together. We got help from a lot of people. And seek professional help if you need to. Seek professional help even before you feel like you need it, by constantly growing and learning every day with your significant other. And whatever that means for you, and whatever you guys enjoy together, whether that be finding new hobbies, finding books to read together, finding podcasts to share with each other, whatever it means to grow as an individual, bring that in your relationship. And communicate that with each other, because if you want a serious relationship and a long relationship, you don't want to get bored of your partner. You know, you want to make sure that you're constantly growing, constantly giving things to the table and meeting your partner exactly where they're at, right?
Yep. And that was really good points. I honestly hope you guys got something out of this. If you enjoyed this, please like, comment your story, comment any questions you'd like down below. We're also going to link SHETTY's podcast that inspired us to make this. And also our Twitch channels so that you could catch us, get some frags here and there.
Get some frags.
But yeah, have a great rest of your day. Have a great Valentine's. And yeah, have a good day.
Happy Valentine's Day!
Hi everyone, welcome.
Okay, sorry. No, I was gonna count you in.
No.
You look like you needed to be counted in.
No, okay, okay.
Wait, I thought you were wearing my ring.
Oh my gosh, babe. You're not even supposed to take that off. It's okay, like relax. What's good,
Hold on.
Okay, ready. This is it. Final one right here, okay? This is it. Final one. Final one. Final one. Final one. What's good, everybody? My name is Sky. Welcome back to the channel. Why are you laughing? I was going. That was it. That was it.